Happy June, everybody. Welcome. Kids are out of school. We have lots of fun things going on. And today we have Coterie Insurance, which is new, not really new. It's newish, it's upcoming, it's tech, it's insurance, it's all the things that we're really wanting to make sure that we're a part of moving forward. And today we have Andrea Gioia with us, and she's going to talk to us about all the cool stuff she's doing there. So Andrea, welcome to the Power Women in Insurance podcast.
Thank you so much, Teresa. I'm glad to be here.
Well, I'm really pumped too, because, we were talking just a little bit before this started. We've had a lot of women in a lot of different aspects in this industry. And I don't feel like we've had a lot in the tech department. I feel like we have a lot in the service. We've had a lot in sales. We've had a lot in ownership. We've had a lot of it in a lot of those areas. And I'm pumped because you are in such a wonderful area that I'm loving the idea of just really picking your brain, having cool conversations. So tell us a little bit about you and how you got to where you are with Coterie.
All right. Yeah, I started out as an engineer. And so I went to the Colorado School of Mines, and that really was the foundation behind solving tough problems and leveraging data to make really well-informed decisions. And so I bring that with me everywhere I go. And I started out at GE, went through their commercial leadership program, and through that built a lot of connections and really how to work. And so I've dabbled in a few different industries, almost all of them highly regulated. And it really allowed me to figure out, what does product mean, specifically tech product, within these different organizations. And so then I had the opportunity to work with Coterie, and I was able to bring all of that knowledge and skill along with me. So what we love to do is, again, using that data to make well-informed decisions and really power us into insurance. There's so much information available that we are just not using. It's an outdated industry, if I may say.
It is.
And there's so much we can do with it. And so I'm really excited about the talent that we have and how we can help empower other agents and policyholders to make good, well-informed decisions about their insurance needs. It's really important they get the coverage they need, and we can help them with that.
I love that. I love that. So what drew you specifically to the insurance side of technology? Like, you were looking for a job and it just like they were hiring, or did you think about insurance maybe in, what drew you specifically? Is it the company that you're working for, the industry, where they're going? What is it that excited you about being able to take this position?
Yeah, it was the people within the company. Our values are so important to us. It's intelligence, integrity, passion, and humility. But when you have that combination, that's like, it's so magical. It's a safe place to be. You can be innovative. You can share ideas, that you have that built-in trust. But we really challenge each other to be our best. We have to do what's right. And so getting to know the team members, that's kind of how it started. And then I fell in love with insurance. It's because it's ripe for the picking. There's so much we can do with it. And I can see that potential. I can see it. And so when I got the opportunity to make that impact, I jumped at it. I was really excited.
Well, good, because I do think you are in a really neat pioneering niche, because we have not seen a lot of, especially because for people so people who don't know what Coterie is, real quick, tell us a little bit what Coterie is and how they are serving the insurance industry. And then I want to jump off of that conversation and talk about how y'all are doing it so uniquely and where you guys are going. So tell us a little bit about the company, who y'all serve, and kind of what you guys are doing specifically in the insurance space.
Yeah, absolutely. So our mission is to build and foster a world-class team to bring speed, simplicity, and service to small business or commercial insurance. And so driving that, we're leveraging data to make well-informed decisions. How can we do things like reducing the need for so much manual intervention? How do we get a quote in the insured's hands that much faster? An accurate, bindable quote. So we're doing all of that right now. We have a great new product called Simply Bind that, based on the information that you give us, two pieces of information. We need your business name and we need your address. We have all the data on the back end.
Okay.
We can generate a quote in 20 seconds.
Wow. Just from those two pieces of data?
Two. That's it.
Wow.
And we do give you the opportunity as the agent or the policyholder to say, confirm this is the right industry, this is the right whatever square footage. You have an opportunity to confirm and make sure that that is accurate. But yeah, we have the information available, so let's make it easier for them. We'll pre-populate it. They just check through, make sure that it looks accurate, and then you bind it.
I love it. I love it. So whenever you're talking about data, a lot of people, they're afraid of big data. They're afraid of it, but at the same point, they want all the joy that it brings, right? We want to be able to have our cake and eat it too, right? We don't want our personal data to be maybe, shared, but at the same point, we really want all the conveniences. And I don't think people today really understand the conveniences that we have and how reliant they are on data overall, right? Yeah. And I think even our customers and our consumers don't really know. So tell us a little bit about how the universe it is, because that is not a one location source, right? It's not just what you buy at the local grocery store when you swipe your little key card or you put in your phone number, right? That's kind of maybe how it started back 20 years ago, but I think it's just changed dramatically. Tell us what data means for where you guys are building and from an insurance perspective on the information you guys get as far as the word data.
Yeah. To start out, we have several data sources that we leverage. So we have key partnerships that we use, and we built a confidence model around that. So as we use this more, we get more information about how trustworthy is this data. So if we're finding that our users go in and they end up updating a zip code field, 90% of the time, I'm totally making this up, we would know, okay, don't use that data source for the zip code. Let's use this other one that's correct 90% of the time. And so we're building up this confidence model as we go. So it's not just the data sources that we have available to us today. We're constantly learning and reiterating around what data we have available and how do we make it that much better. And that's really the strength of it all, is that it's not just static data, it's constantly learning.
I love that. I love that. And you're taking that data and you're growing it. Now, as far as security of data, a lot of people might be questioning about that too. Where are you guys seeing that the security really comes in? Because we do want to make sure that if the companies that we work with do use our data, we do want to make sure it's safe. We want to make sure it's secure, and we want to make sure the data we provide to you as an insurance agency is secure and all that. So tell us a little bit about that security piece and how y'all are really being able to bring data into a usable form in a very safe and secure environment.
Absolutely. Safety of the data is paramount. So integrity is one of our values. We take that very seriously. And we have a whole security team at Coterie that's constantly looking for ways to make sure that data is safe, looking for any kind of breaches so that we can get ahead of it before it becomes a problem. So we do take that very seriously. And we have several professionals. That's all they do, is they focus around the security of the data that we have and the data that we're saving. Now,
somebody who does a little bit of commercial insurance, and I don't do a ton, I'm not a commercial insurance expert. We are growing our agency in the commercial insurance space. So we've been personal lines the vast majority of the 20 years that I've owned the business. So tell me a little bit about, a lot of people say, especially commercial, there's so many questions you have to ask. We have these accord forms that are like 5 pages long, and and they have like 8 million little boxes and check marks, and do you do this? Do you do this? Do you do this? If you do, make notes about that, right? Yeah. How do you squish? That's my very technical word. Yes. You're going to go back and tell all your team that you squish the data. But how do you squish the data to be so real, so accurate, and yet get all of that data to the carriers in a secure way? I guess I'm just thinking about all the frustration and I don't know, bottles of liquor that I probably had going through those Accord forms, and you're like, I just need 2 pieces of data and we can put together a quote. How
Yes.
does that specifically work from a agency type perspective and all the data we have to be able to take in?
Yes, I love this question so much because this is where we really start making an impact for people that may be new to the industry or are unfamiliar with the commercial space. Is we are now empowering them to make well-informed decisions about the coverage. And so we are making recommendations based on those 2 pieces of information that we gather. And essentially, we rely on all the data. We have a lot of data that we've gathered over several years. And so that helps inform us of like, hey, we have sold a business owner policy previously. What are the things that we actually need? We find that a lot of the pieces of information are not used. So let's not ask for that information.
Right.
Oh, the carrier needs that. Let's make sure we get it. We also have key partnerships. And so we have a lot of pieces in the non-traditional space where if we're partnering with someone that, let's say they do accounting or billing, they already have a lot of that information on the customers. We don't need to go ask them again, but they can use our APIs back and forth to get the information we need. We don't have to ask the insured again. We already have that information through our partnership. We don't save it anywhere because we don't need to. And then out you go. You have a quote, you can bind it, we service it. We really are the manufacturing around that policy. And we're able to do that because we have this data, or we have the partnerships that already has the data for us. We have those secure relationships. API security is really important, and we make sure to do that well, and we test the heck out of it.
I love that. I love that. So do y'all have like a specific kind of commercial that this works really, really well for, like certain size of businesses? Because I mean, I think about these large accounts that are an electrician with $20 million worth of business per year. That seems like that would probably get way more intense than probably 2 pieces of data can really pull in. And that's just my own brain. But where is your threshold here? Or is it certain industries? Is it certain size of industries? Is it certain, kinds of maybe where they've been insured before that maybe makes that ease of quoting a lot easier for people?
Right. Yes. So we do focus on small commercial. That's like, 10 employees or less. We do write some bigger things, especially around like restaurants. A lot of times those are a little bit larger, but we focus on the small commercial. And why we do that is we know that risk profile really well. And so we know, based on the categories, some of those risky areas, we're also really, we're changing the way underwriting has been done. So right now, underwriting is very manual, right? It's a lot of back and forth.
Yeah.
What kind of risk is it? We have data on all of that. And so we're helping to automate that. We can make changes very quickly and easily online to the kind of risks that we're willing to take without having to make changes to any kind of manual processes. It's all automated. And so we're really trying to be smart around that. It's small commercial. Right now we're selling BOP, GL, PL, but we're adding more lines of business, and we have a lot of endorsements to offer as well.
I love that. So now are y'all getting into the claims side of it? Because you guys are and help me make sure I'm really clear for our listeners out there. Y'all are the technology that is branching to the carriers with the data between the agency or consumer side directly to the carrier. So you're still going through the big dog carriers that we may be quoting on our own on an agency side. Is that correct? Because you're not the specific carrier, you guys are the technology. Right. Is that correct? I just want to make sure we're really clear on that. Is that correct?
Yep, that's right. Yeah, we depending on which carrier it ends up going through, we go through their TPA. Sometimes we take first notice of loss, and we're doing that more and more. But generally speaking, we don't have all of our claims in-house, and depending on the line, we may not take it all in-house for quite a while. There are other people that do that really, really well, and so right now we're leveraging that through TPAs.
I love that. I love that. So, but you guys are still able to make sure that either through the carriers or through the agent and that conversation, that the clients still get great service. Because absolutely. I think people worry that with tech, right, and technological advances, that we're going to lose that that client, we're going to lose that personal touch. We're going to lose that personal relationship. So even in claims, so how do you guys usually handle that conversation of keeping a relationship with the client, even while offering amazing tech options?
Yeah, I mean, we have a whole, well, we have several teams of customer advocates that are focused just on that. So when I'm thinking about new tech products or features that we're building out, we include those customer advocates in our training. They need to know what's happening so that when they get the phone call, the email, the chat, they know how to respond to it. And so that's very much a part of the process. We also have a team specific to the customer advocates so that we can hear what are their pain points. If they need to be searching up policies to see, oh, that renewal is actually coming up in a couple of days, let's get on that. I want them to be able to search that really quickly and easily. And so we do place a good bit of focus on our customer advocates so that we can help them ultimately help our customers.
Yeah, yeah. So, but we're not necessarily talking about taking the agent out of the process. So,
No.
is this something that the clients go directly to you, or is it something that the agents are the ones that bring the business to y'all? How does that generally work? Because I think that there's a lot of those companies out there that they want an agent to sell it, and then they just want to, like, the agent to never touch it again, almost, and then the agent feels like they're losing that personal connection with that client. How are you guys keeping the agent side of things specific with your product?
Yeah. So we can sell directly to a policyholder through what we call our quote flow. We do the majority of our business through agents. They have a dashboard they can log into, and that's where Simply Bind is available to them. We also sell through a lot of our partnerships, like I said, through the non-traditional pieces using our APIs. And so, like I said, the majority of that is through our agents. So it's so important to include the agent. I mean, we view them as our core customers, the agents. Right. They bring us that business. And so we have to take care of them. And so things like when we generate a quote and send it out, we give them the option to send it to the agent and to the insured. It's not just one, so that they're kept in the loop.
Yeah.
When we, if there's, I don't know, auto renewal notifications going out, send it to both. Keep them aware so that they know how to interact and engage with the people that they really want to take care of.
I like that a lot. And there's also a movement in the insurance industry on the agency side as well, what we call QBI, or quote bind issue. And it is something that, especially for those lesser threshold financially, those smaller accounts, that we can still service them fast and easy, but maybe through a portal on our website, say, hey, we have a great online option for maybe a startup or a small business to be able to go directly online. Now, I think you guys have an option to be able to put on people's websites too. Is that correct? For people to be able to redirect, maybe people to be able to get a quick, easy, one of those low threshold, really fast turnaround type products. Is that correct?
That's right. Yep. And we also have the option where if the agent wants to start the quote, but we need a couple pieces of information, you can send a link essentially to the policyholder. They finish up the rest of the information. They can bind it there, but we still attribute that policy back to the agents. They're the ones that started it. They're the ones that brought us that insurance policy. So they should be getting commission for it.
That is awesome. So I'm really, really excited about this, because I think that this is such a huge thing for insurance agencies and for where a business is going in the future. But do you see that maybe making some of this automated would make it commoditized? A lot of things about the personal lines end of business has been the fact that the online access has made homeowners insurance and auto insurance and boat and all these other things so easy. You can do it in your pajamas, right? And Flow or the Gecko is going to help you out. And those are great avenues to some degree, but at the same point, a lot of people don't get the best service or the best coverage through those types of avenues. Yeah. So what are y'all doing to be able to educate and make sure, because I know you said that y'all also suggest coverages as well. Are y'all working to be able to keep the integrity of the product there rather than just, like I said, commoditizing on that? So what would you say to an agent that might be kind of afraid of that?
Yeah, I mean, that's a real fear. And I would say most people that own a company don't know anything about insurance and don't want to know
I
anything
don't
about
want to.
insurance. And so
Amen. I
they
hear you on
are
that.
looking, they are looking for an agent. They want to be taken care of. And so I think the demand is certainly still there. Now, our flows are very different. If we have, a business owner coming in, we explain a lot more in the process. It takes a little bit longer. Whereas if it's an agent, they know these things. They're with it. They're smart. They know what to expect. And so our flows are a little bit different based on who's using the tool, the vast majority coming in through agents. But I think the demand is there. I think it will continue to be there. If people wanted to be in insurance, they would be in insurance. But let's just help them do what they want to do best, which is running their company, not
Yeah.
buying insurance.
Completely, completely. Well, I love this because I think it is the future of where a lot of us are going with the concept of giving our clients such easy access to being able to get so many options for their insurance needs. Tell me a little bit about what y'all maybe have on the radar coming up, because technology, the insurance industry is not necessarily on the forefront of technology, right? And we all know that.
Yeah.
Where do y'all see yourselves going? And where are you now preparing to be able to go in the future? Because those things are not necessarily fast moves. You have to kind of vision, 3, 5, 10 years out to be able to put the pieces in place to be able to navigate yourself in the direction for where technology is going in the future.
Yes, absolutely. Well, we just got approval to sell to sell BOP in New York. So that's going to be live very, very soon. We are so
Very
excited.
nice.
So things like that, where, we'll get, we did our filings a while ago, and it was just kind of a waiting game. And so you prepare for that. But so in addition to that, we have several endorsements that we're going to be going live with, expanding our appetite, but also getting a lot smarter about what is eligible and what we think is going to be the right, based on our claims that come in. We'll learn about that too, right? And it's a little bit delayed, of course, claims take time, but we're going to learn about that and what kind of coverage makes sense for us and for our customers. So we'll continue to iterate on that. What I'm most excited about is iterating on our confidence models, on our data. We're going to get really good in being able to hone in on what data is actually needed and the right sources to bring that in, so that it makes it that much easier for our customers to get the coverage that they need. So we'll continue to work on that as well. We're looking at a couple of new lines of coverage that we would be able to pull in, and to be able to quote multiple lines at the same time, even if they're different carriers. So that's going to be a huge game changer. Just put it all in one package, right? Make it easy. So
Yes.
those are some of the things we have ahead of us.
I love it. I love it. So if you could say one thing to the agencies out there, just anything, like, and I know I'm just throwing this on you. I probably shouldn't even be saying this. I'm really going to throw you completely for a loop. If you could say one thing to maybe a reluctant agency out there who is maybe not as good with technology, not as good with data, not as good with, all these things. Maybe they just feel like, oh my gosh, it's another thing we have to learn. Maybe it's a da, 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 da. You've heard all those challenges before.
Yeah.
But what would you say to the agency out there looking at your product and your company and where you guys are and where you're going in the future? What would you say to them if you were there with them?
Yeah, I would say try it. The beautiful thing is, let us do the technology piece. Let us do the data finding. That's what we're trying to do for you. I bet you can give me the business name and the address. I bet you can. Give us a shot. We do have a great onboarding team. So figuring out how to get onboarded, making sure the affiliation is correct, those kinds of things, pretty standard everywhere. Once you're onboarded, give it a shot. We want your feedback. We need to make you happy. If you're not happy, then we cease to exist. So we want your feedback. We encourage you to try it. And I think you'll find that you like it. And especially some of the newer agents or less familiar ones, it really empowers them to sell commercial lines where previously they didn't because they weren't sure if that was the right coverage. And so we're trying to make that easier for you.
I love it. I love it. I love it. Well, people want to reach out to you, Andrea. How can people do that, and or directly to Coterie so they can go ahead and get more information for their agency and or their business?
Yeah, I encourage you to reach out to me at LinkedIn. My name is Andrea Gioia, Gioia. Send me a message. And same, Coterie is also on LinkedIn. That's Coterie, Coterie Insurance. And reach out to us. We have a great marketing team that takes inquiries, and we'll get back to you.
I love it. I love it. Well, thank you so much for your time today, for telling us a little bit about what it is that you do and the future of it, and really helping us out to be able to write more business clean and easy and very profitably. Thank you so much for being a part of that space in the insurance industry.
That's my pleasure. Thank you.
Now, everybody, this has been another amazing episode of the Power Women in Insurance podcast. We're on Google iTunes. We're on Apple iTunes. We are on Google Podcasts. We're on Spotify. Anywhere that you would stream your podcast, make sure that you share it. Make sure you like it. And if you know another amazing woman in the insurance space, please make sure you reach out to me. I love talking to them, and I love getting to know what they do and how their business and what they do can help benefit the rest of us out there in the industry. Everybody, go make the world safe for democracy and have a wonderful day.